Right, so end of another day. A bit of a shame, it's sort of lunchtime-ish, and I've got to go home and do some real work now. Obviously this is work, but real work involves actually looking after clients. So purpose of today, we didn't get into a lot of detail talking about data because it's such an enormous topic, but it's also really, really important as a prerequisite to any artificial intelligence project. And if you are a procurement professional with stakeholders who want to buy AI stuff, just ask them if their data is in an appropriate state to use it. Because if their data is in a state, your AI project is going to fail. So make sure you understand all the attributes of the data stuff we spoke about today. So we covered different types of data. So there's structured and unstructured data. And structured data is easier to deal with than unstructured data. We talked about the different sources of data. Internal data is very easy to sort out. External data tends to come with a cost, certainly comes with risk because you're relying on other people's data, so that makes it more difficult to commercialize. And we talked about sensors, very high level, different Internet of Things type devices that are generating data all the time, whether they're in your company or whether they're in other people's organizations, and how you trade data with that sort of stuff. We talked about methods of collection of data, and so that is using things like APIs or web scraping to get the data into your organization to do something with it. We talked about storage of data, so that's once you've got the collection going, you can put it somewhere that is going to keep it safe, and there's lots of different options around that. One of the biggest sort of areas that are worth considering from a procurement perspective is if you're using the cloud to store your data, then you need to understand the commercial implications of data privacy and data protection and all the other things we've spoken about so many times. We talked a little bit about data analysis and data processing. So that is, once you've got your data into a storage unit, you need to do something with it. So you process it to make it correctly formatted, make it useful, and then you analyze it using different tools to draw out trends and forecasts if you can, those sorts of things from the data. Talk about visualization, how to draw graphs, but probably more interesting things than graphs to tell the story that you can with your data. And then we sort of finished on governance and security and quality management, those sorts of things, and integration with other platforms. As you can say, there is a lot to do with data. And again, as ever, you don't need to be an expert in all these things, but as a procurement professional, it's useful for you to understand some of the terminology like ETL, extract, transform, and load. So when someone turns around and says, I want to buy an ETL tool, you can ask intelligent questions like, what are you extracting? Where are you loading it to? What transformations do you need to do? Oh, okay, that's the product for you. Just engaging in a slightly deeper level with your stakeholders. And then think, the reality of all of this is, and it's going to be the next video, how this plays into artificial intelligence. Data is the fuel to an artificial intelligence project. And without it, AI would be completely pointless. And this week, it's at the end of January now, we've seen lots of new announcements around AI with new entrants to the market, such as DeepSeek, which is massive in the news at the moment. Things like ChatGPT, things like Copilot, all of these products, you feed in some data and it tells you what the output is. In fact, in most cases, you feed in some data, it compares it with what's in the internet and it gives you an output. So you can see the benefit of having a really good understanding of data, good quality data, good control over your data, and armed with that, it will support an AI project that hopefully will be successful. Outside of the boring work content, Harry and I have had a right old laugh today. It was freezing cold. I really cocked up my mooring, so I couldn't get on stand in the handle because the tide and the wind was pushing me away, which is really annoying. Finally did it at the end with Harry's help. Thanks, mate. Got the drone up, nearly got attacked by an Arctic tern again. Harry's drone obviously looks a little bit like a bird, sounds a little bit like a bird, and no other birds like it. It's like me at school, no one likes it and everyone wants to pick on it. So, been a good day to film. We've got loads of great shots, as ever. We're in the Solent talking about technology. I'm about to launch a new community, or reboot a community that we've already got going called Tech Solent. So if you're in Tech Solent and you want to come out on a boat, you live locally, give us a shout. We'll go out and have a bit of a giggle. It'll be quite nice, not just listening to me talk all the time. Anyway, lunchtime, Harry and I are going for a solid lunch, not a liquid lunch, and we are going to then go home and do our work stuff. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any suggestions on improvements or other topics, just let us know. We'll gladly come out and bosh around on the handball and in the Solent, talking in a boat like this for as long as you want us to.